Breaking news: Chinese Coast Guard rams Philippine supply ship near 2nd Thomas Shoal. The headlines flash worldwide. February 7, 2026. On the South China Sea, a routine Philippine resupply mission turns into a crisis. The BRP Sierra Madre, a grounded ship-turned outpost, is home to a handful of Filipino Marines. Their supplies are running low. A small boat brings food and water. Suddenly, a massive Chinese Coast Guard vessel appears, issuing radio warnings. Turn back! The Filipinos refuse. This is their territory. The Chinese ship rams the supply boat. Metal crunches, wood splinters, men are thrown to the deck. High-pressure water cannons blast the bridge, shattering windows and injuring crew. The attack is deliberate, meant to intimidate and force a retreat. Outmatched but determined, the Filipino sailors document everything. Their footage soon goes viral. This is no accident. It's a message. China is asserting dominance. The fragile peace is shattered. The battered Filipino crew is forced to turn back, mission incomplete. The Marines on Sierra Madre must ration supplies, waiting for the world's response. This is more than a maritime scuffle. It's a direct challenge to international order. The world is left asking, what happens next? The South China Sea is now the stage for a global confrontation. The Philippines stands alone, but its struggle is about to echo far beyond its shores. The footage sparks outrage and debate in capitals worldwide. The balance of power in Asia has been shaken. The question is no longer if, but when, the next flashpoint will erupt. The world holds its breath. This isn't just a local spat. It's a global test. The South China Sea is a vital artery. Over a third of world trade passes through these waters. Instability here threatens the global economy. China claims almost the entire sea, ignoring international rulings. Artificial islands bristle with runways and missiles, projecting Chinese power. The ramming of the Philippine ship is part of a broader strategy of coercion. Every incident tests the resolve of the Philippines' allies, especially the United States. Will America honor its treaty? Beijing is watching for hesitation. This is about more than fish or oil. It's about the rules that govern the world. If might makes right here, it sets a dangerous precedent everywhere. The fate of a small supply boat is now tied to the future of global security. The world faces a choice: defend a rules-based order or accept a new era of power politics. The answer is being written in the waters around the Philippines. The stakes could not be higher. The first island chain, Japan, Taiwan, the Philippines, Borneo, is the Pacific's defensive barrier. For the US and its allies, control of these seas is vital. For China, the chain is a cage, blocking access to the Pacific. Breaking through is Beijing's top priority. Choke points like the Bashi Channel are critical. Control them, and you control the flow of ships and submarines. Each artificial island, each act of harassment, is a move in a grand strategic game. The South China Sea's reefs are stepping stones for Chinese expansion. The first island chain is the front line of great power competition. Both sides are testing how far they can push. The stability of the entire region depends on the strength of each link. The Philippines is the chain's most vulnerable point. The world is watching to see if it will hold. The Philippines, over 7,000 islands, sits at the heart of the first island chain. Its geography is a strategist's dream and a nightmare. Access to Philippine ports and airfields gives the US and allies flexibility to monitor and respond in the region. Without the Philippines, the chain is broken, a gap for China to exploit. China knows this and pressures Manila relentlessly. Beijing's goal: weaken the Philippines' resolve, pull it away from the US alliance. Harassment at sea, economic pressure, and political influence are all part of the strategy. The Philippines is caught between two giants. Its choices have global consequences. The strength of the first island chain depends on Manila's resolve. Will it remain a barrier to aggression or become a gateway for Chinese dominance? The answer lies in the Philippines' next move. The world's security hinges on this unbreakable link. The stakes are existential. The US-Philippine alliance is anchored by the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty. It's a simple promise: an attack on one is an attack on both. For decades, this pact has deterred aggression, but doubts linger. Would the US really risk war with China over a distant reef? Recent US statements clarify attacks on Philippine forces in the South China Sea trigger the treaty. Agreements like the Visiting Forces Agreement and EDCA allow US troops to rotate through Philippine bases. This isn't about permanent bases. It's about readiness and rapid response. The alliance provides the Philippines with technology, training, and a security guarantee it can't match alone. Political winds in Manila sometimes shift, but the reality remains. The Philippines needs US support to defend its territory. The alliance is a force multiplier, turning promises into real deterrence. As China's shadow grows, this partnership is more vital than ever. The future of Philippine sovereignty depends on the credibility of this pact. The world is watching to see if the alliance will hold. The stakes are nothing less than the balance of power in Asia. The US-Philippine bond is being tested like never before. The military gap between China and the Philippines is vast. China's navy is the world's largest, with aircraft carriers, destroyers, and a powerful coast guard. The Philippine military, focused for decades on internal threats, is underfunded and outdated. Its navy relies on hand-me-down ships. Its air force has few modern jets. It lacks submarines, advanced missiles, and effective surveillance. The Philippines can't patrol its own waters, let alone confront China. US support, training, intelligence, equipment is essential for Philippine defense. China exploits this imbalance, using its Coast Guard and maritime militia to harass and intimidate. These gray zone tactics erode Philippine control without triggering war. The Philippines' ability to assert sovereignty depends on its alliance with the US. China knows this and pushes the limits, one reef at a time. The imbalance is stark and the stakes are rising. The Philippines must modernize or risk losing control of its own seas. Philippine democracy is vibrant, but volatile. Political shifts can upend foreign policy overnight. One administration courts China, the next leans on the US. This inconsistency weakens the country's position in the South China Sea. China exploits the chaos, building ties with politicians and business leaders. Promises of investment sway some. Others warn of trading security for short-term gains. Political churn prevents a unified national strategy. Beijing waits for favorable leaders, undermining the US-Philippine alliance from within. Without political cohesion, the Philippines remains vulnerable to outside influence. A strong foreign policy requires a stable domestic foundation. The stakes, sovereignty, security, and the country's place in the world. The Philippines must find unity to withstand external pressure. China is the Philippines' top trading partner and a major investor. Economic ties bring growth, but also dependence. Beijing uses both carrots and sticks loans and investments for cooperation, trade restrictions for defiance. Infrastructure deals are tempting, but can lead to debt traps and loss of independence. Economic leverage creates a powerful pro-China lobby in Manila. Some argue for compromise to protect jobs and growth. Others warn of surrendering sovereignty. China exploits these divisions, pushing the narrative that prosperity depends on cooperation. The risk economic dependence becomes political submission. The Philippines must balance growth with national security. Lean too far toward China, and sovereignty is at risk. Lean too far away, and economic pain follows. The tightrope walk is perilous, and the stakes are national survival. The world is watching which way Manila will lean. The Philippines' fate is a global concern. If Manila yields to China, it could trigger a domino effect across Southeast Asia. The first island chain would be broken, giving China access to the Pacific. The regional balance of power would shift. Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan would all be threatened. US influence would wane, and freedom of navigation would be at risk. But a strong, resilient Philippines can anchor a rules-based order. By standing firm, modernizing its military, and strengthening alliances, the Philippines can inspire others. Its struggle is a metaphor for the fight between law and force. The world is watching the drama unfold in these contested waters. The Philippines may be outgunned, but its strategic importance is immense. Its choices will shape the future of Asia: conflict or cooperation, domination or peace. The weak link must not break. The fate of the region hangs in the balance.